This is probably going to tick off a lot of the diehard Ninja Gaiden fans, but Ninja Gaiden II Black, to me, does not feel like the definitive edition of this game. And I'm not talking about the fact that there are some additional content pieces that came out in previous versions of the game that didn't make it into this game. The reason I'm saying it's not the definitive version of the game is because even though it looks amazing and it runs on this modified Unreal Engine 5 visual 120 frames a second HDR masterpiece, there's still lots of rooted Xbox 360 moments that just kind of make you scratch your head. There's gameplay elements that feel out of place. There's visuals that look dated. The sound effects are bad. The soundtrack in the background loops and just cuts off very, very poorly. It just feels like it's slopped together. And I can't help but feel that the team that worked on this game probably aren't thrilled with the way this package presents itself. It is not as polished as a game like Devil May Cry. It's not as polished as a game like Ghost of Tsushima. And yes, I know that those are two wildly different games from what Ninja Gaiden is trying to be. But my point is, the aesthetics in this game don't always help the end narrative. Yes, you are a badass. Yes, you have a ton of weapons that can be upgraded. The dismemberment system is awesome. If you're playing on PlayStation 5 Pro, you're going to experience nearly locked 120 frames per second gameplay throughout the entire experience. If it dips, VRR is there to scoop you up. It looks and plays fantastically. But then you're going to notice enemies in the background pop in. And you're going to notice that the enemy AI is pretty stupid. And then you're going to start to see some of that illusion fall apart as you hear the same 3 or 4 sound effects played over and over. You hear the same 15-second background music narrative running on loop continuously. That wasn't even done in a perfect loop. It just cuts off mid-note and then starts over. You're going to feel some of the archaic menu systems that are in place. You're going to juggle with a very, very, very dated camera system that, frankly, takes the platforming in this game and makes it some of the worst elements of the game because you can't line up what you're trying to do and it can't keep up with itself. And it kind of breaks that illusion. It really does. It's a good game, though. That's the thing. But it could be a great game. And I think that's what frustrates me. I think it is worth a $50 price point. I think that if you haven't played Ninja Gaiden 2, or you're like me and played it but you really don't remember it, it's fun. And it does stand the test of time in the gameplay, in that gameplay loop of fighting enemies and frantically rolling and slicing and hacking and slashing. And when the smoke clears and you're basically automatically collecting all of the orbs that give you back your health and your money, and you're coated in blood, and there are dismembered enemies all over the map, some humanoid, some not, you feel awesome. And it's those dopamine hits that come again and again and again when you fight these bosses that are larger than life and you're pulling off crazy ninpo attacks and you're switching your favorite weapon and you're dismantling them. It feels good. It feels really, really good when you watch that ending cutscene where they are completely destroyed. But everything else in between suffers. The platforming suffers. The moment-to-moment gameplay at times suffers. And I wish they could have just done it better, but they don't. And they didn't. I don't know why. And it worries me because whenever we get to Ninja Gaiden 4, whatever that looks like, please don't make it like this. Don't think that this is a winning formula. Yes, it's critically reviewed very, very high right now. Yes, people are flocking to this game and playing it because it was a shadow drop and it really instilled a lot of excitement in the fan base and then in people like me who are always on the hunt for 120 frame per second games. So you struck when the iron was hot. That doesn't necessarily mean it's a formula for success. This game launches 2 or 3 months from now when it's competing against games like Monster Hunter Wilds or whatever the new Elden Ring game looks like. Maybe it's not going to sell so well. Maybe it's not going to be as popular to a larger audience because it is still plagued with those problems. So cautionary tale here, but I still think a game worth checking out. If you have an old copy of the game, I did try it just out of curiosity because I do have all the Ninja Gaiden, all 3 of them. It looks and runs great on your Xbox. If you still have an Xbox or even turn the damn thing on, I don't even really play mine anymore. But if you see this and you're like, man, you know, that looks good, you will get a decent experience out of the original game. It obviously isn't going to have the Unreal Engine 5 stuff, some of the lighting effects, the particle effects, the loading times. A lot of that isn't going to be there, but you are going to get a really nice locked 60 frame per second experience, which will help a lot. It's not going to be 120 frames like it is on the PlayStation 5 Pro, but it's good. It's just not great. And I think this game just kind of basically took that core formula, slapped a new graphical engine over the top, and re-released it when they had an opportunity to go back and kind of fix some of the systems and make a better camera system and make a more robust inventory system. You don't have to change the game. You don't have to change the game. You just got to change the usability of the game. Keep the core story the same. You can keep the voice acting the same, but the tinny sound effects, the weird soundtrack, those kind of things could have been resolved and they weren't. And I don't know why, but it's not as great as it could have been. I'll leave it at that. And you're seeing the gameplay for yourself. You be the judge. You tell me, am I way off base here? I don't think so. Like I said, I know there's a die-hard group of Ninja Gaiden fans out there who are violently defensive of this game, who are posting and comparing things on the subreddit. And I expect that audience to find their way to this video at some point. So, hi guys. But for everyone else, just kind of temper your expectations. You're going to see some really cool vertical slices of some amazing moments of badassery, which do appear often in the game. Just be forewarned that in those lull moments between those awesome images of badassery, you're going to have a really broken swimming system or a really broken camera system or a very lame weapon upgrading system. All right, just keep that stuff in mind, and I think you'll have a really good time. I'm having a blast with it. I will beat it, and I just wanted to come out here and say, you know, it's not all roses. It should have been, but it's not. That'll wrap up today's video and thoughts on Ninja Gaiden II Black. If you like what you saw, please consider commenting, rating, and subscribing to the channel. It really helps me out quite a bit. And if not, that's okay. I'll still be here when you decide to come on back. Thanks so much for watching. Take care of yourselves. And until next time, I will see you guys on the other side. Bye-bye.